Now in this video just gonna finish up 4 knives. Just wanted to show you pretty funky thing, a kiridashi knife, not glued together. All the knives are loose and I need to glue them together. I thought I'm gonna show you this nice piece. It looks pretty awesome. Damascus steel, Vinland, and eucalyptus and ebony wood. It looks very awesome. It's deep, very nice deep wood. It's from the roots, a wood piece from the roots, and it's really, as I have to say, it has a very nice golden shine to it, and it has some kind of depth into it. And I think it looks pretty good, and it's a leather working knife, which you can hold like this to press down, or you can hold like this to take a line and to give the pressure with the finger here. And yeah, pretty useful knife, I think. It's just for myself. Maybe I'm gonna sell it. Oh, don't know exactly. We will see. And here I got something very funky. The grind is diagonal, which in my case I think it looks awesome. I like it. A friend of mine doesn't, but that's taste. Tastes are different. And the handle, I think I have to say, doesn't really look as good as I hope it would look in the end. That's because it got a lot of splintering and a lot of glue not holding very well. But this piece is one of the first I stabilized at all. It was the wrong resin, and I got some real honeycombs, a wasp nest it was, and it was a wasp hive. Yeah, you see the hexagonal shape, some little bit you can see. It looks very awesome. I think the only thing here was the glue. Here will glue come in, and I hope it's getting dark in here, because this light part looks not very good. And here I got a splinter off too. I hope I could fill that with super glue, but it didn't work. So some very small cracks in there, and I got a piece of wood in between. On this side it's the dark side, and here is the splint, the bright side of the wood. It's very nice, a Cocobolo wood. And you see here a splint, here the wood self. And oh yeah, in the front I got some giraffe bone, black stabilized, so do not really see it at all. It's not a big contrast, but it fits pretty good to the piece. And I really like, yeah, I have to say I really like the shape of the knife. It's very handy. It's pretty nice to hold, and it's really awesome in the hands. As you see, I'm holding my kitchen knife like this, just 2 fingers here, 1 finger in the groove here, and the other finger here to push down on it. You can also hold it this way, but it's more, or with 3 fingers and 1 here. And this is just really awesome to cut, I have to say. It works very well. Yeah, and here another one. Just needs to polish this up, and gets the same grind as this one, but the handle is very different. Now here we have stabilized Treebeard. I don't know if it's called that way in English, but in German, if you translate it word by word, you would say Treebeard. So it's those light green and turquoise, light turquoise pieces which are growing on the trees. And yeah, they're very common here in our mountains. We have lots of them, and I collected them and just tried to stabilize it a little bit. And these pieces I tried to stabilize in white, but the Treebeard itself discolorated the piece completely. As you can see, here is a very tiny spot of white in here, and the rest just discolorated this greenish yellow. It looks awesome, I think. It really has something special to it. It's a bit more plastic or epoxy than I would like to have, On this side it's way better, it looks way better with these many pieces of the beard. And the form is octagonal, as you see, there's 8 corners, and I'm gonna make it here about 30 degrees and here 45 degrees. I think that really it's really awesome in the hand to hold. It's just this octagonal shape. I really love it because it's very, very handy and it's very awesome. Here on the front piece I got some milliputty, milliput, and Damascus milliput black and white. Started to make it myself. It's a very awesome piece, very awesome stuff, this milliput, and I have all the colors, everything already, and you can make pattern as you want, with a rough pattern, with an extreme fine pattern. You can make it whatever you want, and it's a lot less work than this stuff, this paper micarta. But the paper micarta, I have to say, it's just awesome too. So maybe I'm gonna make this also again, because it's really awesome stuff, and it's very, very nice to polish. Gets a very good mirror finish on it. So yeah. Next thing we're gonna do is polish up this blade, and then we glue all the 4 knives together. Now blade is polished, and still the same plastic piece as last time gluing. As I said, I'm always reusing it. Why not? So you have a lot less waste, and just stretch away a little bit of the old glue, and that's it. And we're gonna glue 2 knives at once. Maybe we make the 3rd one also, but first 2 knives, because we have only 10 minutes, or about 10 minutes work time with this resin. So don't overdo. Better mix 2 batches or 3 batches than one getting hard already while gluing. That's not very good and not what you want. So okay, now work quick. Okay, got down. Very, very small entrance hole. And no time to waste. Starting to set, so I need to go on. I need to hurry. Nope, it won't be enough, I guess, but it will be enough. Yeah, it's enough. Ooh, and as I said, way too much rubber and everything gets pushed out, which is too much. It should not be a problem at all. As before, just wipe it away, and then with some acetone after clean it. And the 3rd one also finished. Looks pretty nice. It's a funky knife. Never made such a thing like this. It's just awesome. As I said, a spare piece of Damascus steel, and don't want to throw it away, always make something out of it. And I guess this knife will be very, very useful for me to work with, because it's extremely sharp as all my knives, but with a chisel grind, a one-sided grind, so this side is flat and this side has a bevel, you have only half the cutting angle. So when I made 5 degrees here, I only have 5 degrees. If I make 5 degrees on this, and on this side I have 10 degrees of cutting edge, but here I only have half of the cutting edge angle, and that way it makes it way, way, way sharper. That's just, it's just so sharp. It's awesome, really awesome sharp. Yeah, and it makes the edge a little bit fragile, to say. You do not have to cut heavy materials as hardwood or whatever, but leather or something like that will be very, very nice. Okay, now all the pieces are glued. The glue is dried almost. It's about quarter an hour, 15 minutes to 20, and the glue is still soft, pretty soft, but it's now the ideal time to take it away in the front, and I already took it away. So with my bone tip, I'm going to put this aside, and now I'm just going to show you the pieces already dried. As I said, it's a very, very sharp piece. Take some paper here. It's very thin paper, as you see, but this knife just glides through it because it's really extremely sharp with this thin edge. So it has a lot of cutting power. Okay, now, as I said, these knives are kitchen helpers. The glue should be dried now and should hold very well. And it's get dark. It's got inside here a little bit darker, which looks way more awesome than before. But still, here I got some fractures, and here I got a fracture. And this piece I'm gonna keep for myself. I won't sell it. Only if someone really says, I want to have this piece, then maybe I'm gonna sell it. But as I said, it will be a low price piece because it's not as beautiful and it's not perfect, and things who are not perfect you can't sell for the whole price because they are not perfect. But it looks pretty good, I guess, and the handle, the curve fits pretty nice to this curve, so I think the design of it is very awesome. I bet it will be a very good kitchen helper, and it has a big blade, but it's not a very, very big knife, but the blade itself is pretty big and useful. So now, as you see, also a very sharp knife. Like normally all my knives are extremely sharp because I've made a lot of knives until now, and I really have studied how a cutting edge should work and how a cutting edge should be made. So I really know a little bit what I'm doing, and that's the main important thing. If you do something, you should know what you're doing. And also this knife, just need to get the corner. If you don't touch it, you don't cut it. Could do this all day long. It's just so funny. Yeah, but I want to show you this knife again. I said the color of this handle, I think looks very awesome. Hope you like it too. And also the Damascus piece, it just gives it some nice flair, nice touch to it. So the blade is not Damascus, it's just simple steel. So not boring, I would say, but it's decent. And yeah, now let's finish up the handle. And the rivets are pretty long. Now what I'm gonna do is take a cutter, a wire cutter, and just cut them off. These are stainless steel, 2mm. That's why they're hard to cut. So maybe I'm gonna take the bigger cutter and I'll try to cut them as flush as possible. Then I'm gonna grind the whole thing flush, give it a curve, and here a bigger radius and a flatter radius, and here a smaller radius, about 4mm to 5mm, and here about a 20mm radius, and ending up with a 3mm radius in the end. Take away all the corners. Here in the end I won't make a radius, the same as here in the front. The surface is already finished, so I didn't need to work here at all. And the finger groove also gets nicely rounded, and I hope that the Damascus pattern will come out very nice in the end, but we will see. Okay, now I got it shaped and pre-ground to about a 400 grit, and the metal pieces to a 600 grit. And what I'm gonna do now, hand polishing, hand sanding until it's completely finished, and then to the buffing wheel until it looks like here in the front, and then we are finished. Okay, now the handle got sanded to 600 grit, and now I'm gonna go to the buffing wheel. That's the piece, and I think it looks good but not awesome. I would have liked it to get a little bit more shaped, but I think the imprints on the micarta were not deep enough to get a nice pattern, or to get a pretty fine pattern, because the layers are fine but the pattern itself is very big. That's, as I said, because the imprints I made are not very deep. So maybe with linen that will work better. I will try it out. I think the paper micarta itself looks pretty awesome. It has something of a Damascus steel as the blade here, also some slight curves and waves, so it fits very good to the cutting edge of this blade, of this knife. And all in all, I think it turned out pretty good, and for the first time, just to test, try out how good it is, how well it works, and works pretty nice, I have to say. It's good material. You get sometimes some breakouts or chip outs if you drill too fast or if you work too fast, so it's not bond extremely well together, but it's pretty good bond. And what I would do there is maybe try another resin, but as I said, it's bond pretty good together. As you see, you cannot, it didn't fall apart. It held together and it's holding up very well. So yeah, I think it's some pretty stable stuff. As you know, 2-component epoxy resin is pretty stable. Paper itself is pretty good tension resistant. So as you know, now just to show you again. Okay. Yep. I hope that's sliced enough and that's sharp enough for you. So this piece is also a kitchen knife, and as I said once, my kitchen knives are all almost razor sharp, I have to say. As you maybe can see on my hand, almost all the hair is gone. That's because of trying out a lot of knives in the last few days. So yeah, as I tell you, they are pretty razor sharp, or shaving sharp, someone would call it, because razor sharp is a razor. And yeah, what do we learn from this piece? We learned that paper micarta is a very good handle material, and you can make it yourself very well works pretty good, holds up very good, looks pretty nice. And if you make it straight, you will have only straight paper lines and no waves inside here as I do. But this piece looks like two eyes. That looks good, I have to say. Oh, maybe here we got a little, what could that be? A round point with a tail. Okay. Maybe children are watching, so we leave that aside. And yeah, here we also got some eyes, but it has something, and you can always look about it, and some waves inside there, and it's just awesome. Yep, and the holes in the blade are just for optical reasons, maybe to lighten the blade a little bit. And if you don't like them, you can leave them away, it's no problem at all. So if you want to order a knife like this without holes, it's not a problem at all. But I like them. This is my style. My style is pretty different from other knife makers, but yeah, I like it the way I do. Others like it the way they do. So we have different knives, and it would be very boring if everyone would make the same knives. Okay, now I hope you liked this little video. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos, and thanks for watching.